Hello and welcome into another edition of Sitting Down with Sgar. I'm the football voice of the Hoyas, Jeremy Hubert, joined by Georgetown head coach Rob Scarlotta, coming off a thrilling win over Bucknell. Hoyas get the 31-24 victory. Coach, congratulations and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Uh, I was thinking about this on the way home before I had to come on with you here. I said, Coach Scar always talks about the typical Patriot League game where it's close scoring, one or two plays kind of decided. That's what this seemed to be, except for the fact that everything went crazy in the last 2 minutes. What was your take on it?
It's about right. We talk about the 5 plays you try to win, and you try and script all these situations. I'm sitting here, trying to get Wednesday's practice together and figure out what the offense and defense, what they need to see in the situational team sessions for tomorrow, and I couldn't really think up the last 2 minutes of this game if I sat here for hours and hours and hours.
Coach, we've talked before. I was a youth football coach, and I coached with a really good guy, and one of the things he told the 8 and 9-year-olds was make them snap it again, which is always, keep playing and, till the other team beats you pretty much. Yeah. You have that game where you think you've got it won on the long kibble touchdown that's reversed on pass interference, which – not your words, mine, a little bit dubious. Then you end up your punter has an issue, kind of shanks the punt. Bucknell has a heck of a kicker who's, pretty good from 50. So you're up against the wall there. Then Naimose makes a play. How proud of you were you of your guys? They just kept fighting no matter what happened to them in that last few minutes of the game.
It's a common theme throughout this season. And I think I've told anybody who will listen to me, this is one of the closest groups I've been around. And, Sisu is our key term, means courage in the face of adversity without complaint. We've turned it into how we do things. Our whole sideline, rightly so, went crazy when Jimmy caught the touchdown and we thought it was going to be the end of the game. And I was really proud of them in that moment where they just reset, and it was whatever's put in front of us, put the ball down and we'll play. So, we talk all the time about it being process drives results. We've been able to see that, and we've been able to come out on the correct side of this a couple times. The fact that the kids just keep playing and keep coming back and keep sticking together is what makes this group really special.
We're going to talk to Naimose, the hero of the game, in just a bit, but wanted to address this with you. I thought one of the really good things, it kind of went all your way on that play where your guys tackled the player in bounds, so they're in a little bit of scramble mode. They don't have Ralph Rucker, their standout quarterback. It's the backup Dietrich, who played well, but in that spot where you're thinking, they might want to get out of bounds, how good of a play is that by Nye to kind of maybe be thinking that's where they're going to go with the ball?
Yeah, that's hopefully, like I said, hopefully we steal a couple of these plays tomorrow. So Nye's a very instinctual football player as well as somebody who studies the game. And last year he wasn't starting and getting a ton of time. And I give him a lot of credit for working with Coach Henderson and Coach Doherty, saying, where do I need to get better? And what is going to be the thing that gets me to be on the field for every down? And that's something that he's worked tirelessly on in the first half of the season, and it's really starting to show results here.
Coach, let's stick with the defense before we get over to the offense. I thought some big games from your interior lineman. I'm an old interior lineman. I know it's tough to make big plays sometimes, but John Caramonico, Nat Frangione, between the two of them, combined for 3.5 tackles for loss. Talk about their performance in a game where you needed some big plays.
Yeah, you always talk about stopping the run, be able to run the ball and stop the run. And, I give those guys a lot of credit inside. Dean Mangiacavallo, our freshman, also played really well inside. So, Coach Bear has done a great job with that group of everybody buying in, and we've been able to rotate a number of players from, our seniors all the way down to our freshmen. So I thought we did a good job of keeping people fresh early in the game, and we definitely needed it there in the fourth quarter.
Coach, over to the offensive side, it ended up being a bit of a grinded-out game in a sense. Savion Hart goes over 100 for you, has 2 short touchdown runs. Again, he's really kind of shown his grit in the end of the season.
Yeah, Savion's best football is in front of him, and he's a really good player. So he's done a good job of studying the game and not just running on pure talent, which God blessed him with a lot of it. And I see him starting to see the game slow down, especially Saturday. And I was really happy with the fact that there were some times where there wasn't much daylight and he just put his shoulder down and created some yards for us. So, he has big play ability every time he touches the ball. And, I thought especially up front, the offensive line did a great job with a lot of the movement and, a pretty tough scheme from Bucknell. So it's been great to see him progress, and, hopefully he's on that track to have, continue to get better and have better and better games here as we continue the Patriot League schedule.
Coach, let's stick with the offense. Your Hail Mary duo had another nice game. Jimmy Kibble goes over 100 yards again. Des Thomas again plays pretty much mistake-free football for you. Talk about with those two kind of leading the way for this offensive group.
Yeah, I'm going to knock on my head because I'm really superstitious when you say that. We were +2 in the turnover battle, and it turned into 10 points. We recovered a fumble by their punt returner, who was one of the better players in the conference, and we're able to get the interception at the end. So, when you talk about those things, you don't really highlight a negative is, we took care of the football. Our guys did a great job protecting the ball in the run game, and Des did a great job, in my opinion, of really progressing the trigger in the football and getting the ball out of his hands. I think everybody knows that he can run and create and extend plays. I was really impressed with his ability to throw the short game as well as, throw some of the quick, some of the deep outs to Jimmy and Brock to the field. So, he is in progression. It's however many stars for him now coming up, and, each week he's looking to improve his game.
Coach, now time for our Sitting Down with Sgar Spotlight. We bring on the hero of the day for you on Saturday. It's Nye Mose. Nye, thanks for taking some time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Nye, let's start off here. It's an amazing play. I was talking to Coach. I think you heard us while we were chatting, while you were backstage. In that spot where so much is going against your team, you come up with a heck of a football play. Kind of walk us through what you were thinking before, during, and after the play.
Yeah, so in that play call, I knew I had to curl flat, and they had previously thrown it to the boundary the play before that. So I was kind of already thinking, like, they're going to get it to the boundary. They're trying to get the clock to stop. So I kind of just played the curl route a little bit and then worked to the flat. He eventually ended up throwing it. I ended up catching the ball. I didn't think I was going to catch it at first, but, it fell in my hands, and I just took off with it. So, yeah.
I think you're selling yourself short on the return a couple times. They had to go back and review it. You had to do a little bit of a sideline dance there. Was that in your mind as well? Did you kind of see the path, or was it just instinct at that point?
It was pretty much all instinct. All I knew was just to run straight. Quarterback ended up getting in my way. I just shook a little stop, hezzy, and then got on with it. So, yeah.
When you get to the end zone, you've got teammates coming at you. I'm an old Commanders, Skins, Washington fan. I remember Darryl Green returning a punt and the entire team coming out after him. How good is that feeling where not only have you made this big play, but you can see the joy in your teammates' eyes of, hey, Nye might have saved our bacon here.
Yeah, it's always great to see my teammates on the sidelines pumped and excited. So just having my teammates come over to me at the end of the play, it felt great. Just knowing that I was able to help our team out.
Nah, it's interesting. Coach referred to it a little bit before. We've actually talked about it on the show. How he told me that you, at one point this year, you're a senior. You're not playing as much as you want. You went to Coach Henderson, your linebackers coach, and said, "Hey, what do I need to do to get back out on the field more?" And he kind of gave you a list of stuff, and you've pretty much hit every mile marker. Kind of take me through when you kind of had that epiphany of, look, let me just kind of, be an adult about this and say, hey, what do I need to do better?
Yeah, obviously I didn't get the playing time I've wanted in the past. So I think just being able to sit down with Coach Henderson and just talk about him, what I need to do better and how I can help my teammates, help my team win. I think that was a big part of me getting on the field. So just having that sit down talk with Coach Henderson, and then also just applying those words into action. I think that was the biggest part for me.
Coach, want to bring you in on this. You've been doing this for a long time. What do you think the percentage is of kids, and maybe it's higher at Georgetown, but the kids who take that adult route like Nye did and go to their position coach calmly and say, look, what do I need to do to get better?
Yeah, I think we talk about a race to maturity for our team, because we have some vets like Nye, and then we have some young guys like Brian Allen and Brian Lloyd, and those guys starting to get a lot of time. So, we talk all the time in our program that culture is communication. It doesn't have to be positive or negative. It's neutral, and here are the things, and this is what we're going to talk about. So We really want the players to feel like there's no topic that they can't bring up. We can have a discussion and we may agree, we may disagree, and we're all working towards the same goal, which is for us to have the most successful program through a tremendous process. So, to hear Nye be able to do that and have trust in Coach Henderson, in his coaches, for us to be able to be adults as coaches and give them straight feedback and then have a result. I think that's why you do this. That's the process that hopefully we're setting up for our guys in the 4 for 40 experience here at Georgetown, on the field, in the classroom with some of the best students in the world, and, have them apply it here in football, because that's what's going to happen in life when they get out of here and continue to play at the next level, become professionals, start their own families. So that communication as culture is something that we've talked about from the first day of summer camp, and it's something that this group particularly is bought into and is continuing to develop, as we go through the season.
Nye, back to you. That linebacker group feels like a real fun one, with some of the personalities in there, the young talent in there as well. What's it been like to be a part of that group this year?
Oh yeah, we're a tight-knit group. I probably say we're the closest position group on the team. We're always making jokes with each other, but we're also helping coach each other up, helping each other be better every day. We spend a lot of time on the field and off the field. So I think our chemistry just within the linebacker room is great. It's outstanding.
Last one for you, Nye. I know last year you lost your father right before the season started, and
Yeah.
I could tell just from the outpouring of support with your teammates and the coaching staff how much that meant to you. People talk about family, but does that kind of typify to you how this really is a family program run by Coach Scarlotta?
Oh yeah, this is definitely family oriented. The coaches always make me feel welcome, especially my teammates. Especially when family members go down. I already know I have someone else I can rely on. I know I have a brotherhood over here. I know I have coaches that I can go to and talk to about anything. So it's a big piece of why I'm here. Just the family aspect of it. So it's a blessing just to be here and just to have guys around me be there for me.
Well, Nye Mose, you've been a blessing to this program. And again, as I said on Twitter, I don't think the folks of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, want to see you anytime soon after the play on Saturday, the onside kick return 2 years ago. You have a flair for doing it up at Christy Mathewson. Nye, congratulations. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
That's Nye Mose, and Coach back up to the to Central Pennsylvania. I guess more Central Pennsylvania this week, or the Lehigh Valley, I guess I should say, against a heck of an opponent in Lehigh this week. Kind of give me your thoughts on a really good Mountain Hawks team.
Yeah, if you look at what Coach Cahill has done, he and his staff, and Dan Hunt, who's one of the people I respect in the profession the most, they've really built this program in the 3 years they've been there, and they're playing great right now. And we talked with our team and said, this is what you want to do. This is what you work for. It's not the game, it's the next game in the Patriot League schedule. And for us, the goal for us is to be playing really important games in November, and that's what we're about to do. So, just like every Patriot League game, it's going to come down to 5 or 6 plays. That's what we're working towards. And, you want to go play against very good teams. Right now, Lehigh's back-to-back putting together, a huge win streak and, been very successful in the league so far this year. So incredible challenge that we're extremely excited to go up to Easton this weekend and, go put it on the line and put our program out there against what people are saying is the best and see where we're at.
Yeah, heck of a team up in Bethlehem. And Coach wanted to kind of finish with this. Last year, bit of a similar situation. Big win, late win against Bucknell. You go up, you get them at home. I believe it was 0-0 first quarter. Then they really kind of explode in the second quarter. Any lessons you're able to take from that matchup to this matchup?
Yeah. You have to play consistently in the Patriot League. And I don't care who you play against. It could be Lehigh, it could be Fordham, it could be Bucknell this weekend. And it's really about the Hoyas. We've been blessed to take care of the football in the last couple of games here. We'll really emphasize that with our players. And, we really believe right now it's going to be players, not plays. So we want to put our players, our playmakers in the best position possible, and go out there and have fun and continue to play very hard and play relentless. So, it's an incredible challenge to go up there, and it will be this week and the next 4 weeks. So for us, it's you just try to go 1-0 each week in the league and put yourself in a position again to be playing really important games in November.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the big win again. Good luck this weekend against Lehigh, and hopefully we'll see you after another good performance by your Hoyas.
I appreciate it.
That'll wrap it up for another edition of Sitting Down with Sgar. Remember, Hoyas take on Lehigh. If you're in the Lehigh Valley, go catch it noon Eastern kickoff in Bethlehem, as well as you can see it on ESPN+. Thanks to Coach Scarlotta, Georgetown linebacker at 9 Mos, and our producer Eliza Kravitz. That's all for this edition of Sitting Down with Scar. I'm Jeremy Huber and Hoya Saxa.